You thought you were special. You really thought you were special. Who told you you were special?
Oh my God! You won't believe the family drama that's unfolding right now.
I'm not, look, for a long time, Charlie, man, I've been running behind him. I went places that he went.
You know that saying about apples not falling far from the tree? Well, honey, 50 Cent's son Marky Jackson just proved it in the most dramatic way possible by diving headfirst into this explosive situation between his father and the whole Lil Meech Big Meech saga.
You know, actually, your son wants to sit down with you.
No, he doesn't. See, Charlie, man, you would call me. You don't call TMZ to say you want to sit down.
And let me tell you, he's not just dipping his toes in, he's trolling them like there's no tomorrow. But here's where it gets absolutely wild. 50 Cent, being the fierce papa bear he is, apparently was not having it with his son getting involved.
No, I don't think the relationship works. I'm not, look, for a long time, Charlie, man, I've been running behind him. I went places that he went, and he left the places.
Word on the street is he actually warned his own flesh and blood to back off unless he wanted to get caught in the crossfire. Can you believe it? Meanwhile, poor Lil Meech is practically begging in 50's DMs, desperately trying to convince him that his father isn't a rat. Honestly, with each passing moment, this drama just gets more and more intense. Like seriously, is 50 Cent really out here threatening his own son over beef with other people? And bless Lil Meech's heart, thinking that a simple pretty please is going to make 50 Cent back down. Let's dive into this piping hot tea.
You thought you were special. You really thought you were special. Who told you you were special?
Oh honey, buckle up because this tea is scalding. What started as a little drama between 50 Cent and Big Meech has now exploded into a full-blown generational feud, with their sons throwing shade left and right. And let me spill something absolutely shocking. Up until recently, 50 Cent and Big Meech weren't just friends, they were actual business partners. But you know what they say about money and betrayal, it's always the root of all evil. So here's the tea. It all kicked off when Big Meech, fresh out of prison, decided to link up with Rick Ross for this massive welcome home concert scheduled for February 13th, 2025. Now let me give you some background because this is crucial. Before Big Meech got locked up, he was basically running one of America's most notorious crime organizations. I'm talking about the legendary Black Mafia family. Big Meech, whose real name is Demetrius Flinor, and his brother Terry, Southwest T. Flinor, weren't playing small time. They built this empire that was basically untouchable from the 1980s all the way to the early 2000s. We're talking drug trafficking, money laundering, and they even dipped their toes into the music industry. But honey, it all came crashing down in 2005 when the DEA and FBI came knocking. And when I say knocking, I mean they raided multiple BMF safe houses and seized millions in assets, guns, and cold hard cash. The fallout was devastating. Both brothers got arrested along with other top dogs in the organization. The charges? Hold on to your seats. Conspiracy to distribute 5 kilos or more, possession with intent to distribute over 500 grams, conspiracy to launder money, and 2 counts of possession with intent to distribute more than 5 kilos. When the dust settled in 2008, both brothers were looking at 30 years behind bars. Now here's the real kicker. Reports say the Flinor brothers had made over $270 million from their operations, and they lost every single penny. Whatever was left after those raids, gone to legal fees and supporting their families while they were locked up. So naturally, when Big Meech finally got out, the first thing on his mind was getting that coin, which is why he jumped at the chance to work with Rick Ross on this concert. But wait, there's more. You know that hit show BMF, it's literally based on Big Meech and Southwest T's life story. And get this, Big Meech's own son, Demetrius Flinor Jr., aka Lil Meech, plays his father in the show. Southwest T's character is played by Da Vinci, and here's where it gets interesting. 50 Cent isn't just involved, he's the executive producer through his G-Unit Films company. There's also this mysterious woman named Tammy Cohens who co-produces the show. She's the one Big Meech sold his life rights to. Nobody knows the exact details, but word is Big Meech gets a cut of the profits. But since the next season's release date is still up in the air, Big Meech probably isn't seeing any of that money anytime soon. Hence the Rick Ross collaboration. But 50 Cent? Oh honey, he saw this whole thing differently. To him, Big Meech working with Rick Ross was the ultimate betrayal because, and this is the tea, Rick Ross used to be a correctional officer. 50 still sees him as Officer Ricky and couldn't believe Big Meech would stoop so low. So what did 50 do? He went straight to Instagram and called Big Meech a rat. He posted this shady message saying it was the biggest mistake he ever made, not keeping his relationship with Tammy Cohen, adding that her tell-all documentary was going to expose everything. Then he doubled down with another post showing a photo that just said the truth and nothing but the truth, truth, with BMF, who is Tammy Cowan's, in the caption. He even teased that this upcoming doc was going to blow your mind because the facts are stranger than fiction, boom. Now, everyone was scratching their heads trying to figure out what 50 was talking about. Who was this Tammy Cowan, and what secrets were about to come out? Well, darling, it all ties back to Big Meech's early release. Remember that 30-year sentence from 2008? People couldn't understand how he got out so early, and that's when the whispers started. Rumors that Big Meech had made a deal with the feds, snitching on someone else to get his freedom. According to sources, Tammy Cowan was the mastermind behind this deal. Allegedly, Big Meech had to serve someone up to the feds, and he chose his friend and business partner, St. Louis drug kingpin Dion Cuffy Gatling. And when I say friend, I mean friend. Big Meech was like family to Cuffy's daughter, Tamara Gatling. Tamara later confirmed these rumors, saying her family was absolutely devastated when they found out about Big Meech's betrayal. But here's the real shocker. She revealed that Big Meech wasn't working alone. His partner in crime, none other than federal informant Tammy Cowan herself. Child, the drama just keeps getting juicier. 50 Cent had clearly reached his breaking point with Big Meech's two-faced behavior, claiming loyalty while cozying up to another potential government informant, Rick Ross. He dropped a bombshell that left fans absolutely shook when he announced that the BMF series wouldn't be coming back for another season. But the real tea came when 50 exposed some private texts from Lil Meech, sharing them with the caption, "What next season title?" In these messages, Lil Meech was practically begging, trying to defend his father's actions. He explained that Big Meech only worked with Rick Ross because he needed the money, not to betray 50. The messages were honestly heartbreaking. "They just told me you unfollowed me off Instagram and now you managing Skillet Baby when I brought him around you first when you didn't even have a clue who he was. Now you mad at me when I would take the shirt off my back for you? I can't believe this, man. You act as if I'm your enemy. I've only showed you love and loyalty." Poor Lil Meech continued, pouring his heart out. "I'm human, I go through my own but I never switched up on you. F Ross, but he gave my dad some bread so he can afford to pay his bills until our next season starts. This internet is throwing me off, man. You know me in real life." That's when 50's son, Marquis Jackson, decided to stir the pot even more by trolling Lil Meech for thinking he was somehow special to 50.
And I had this overwhelming thought in my head, and I think like something is telling me to tell y'all or share this message with y'all, because I feel like it's somebody out here, or maybe it's just a bunch of people out here that need to hear this. And it was like,
You thought you were special. You really thought you were special. Who told you?
And honestly, the bad blood between 50 and his son runs deep. Let me break this down for you. 50 wasn't actually there to raise Marquis. Instead, Marquis was brought up by his mother, Shaniqua Tompkins, after she and 50 split. And honey, that split led to one of the nastiest custody battles you can imagine. They didn't even reach an agreement until 2008. During all this drama, 50 opened up to MTV, saying his relationship with Marcus was changing because he and Shaniqua weren't on good terms anymore. He spilled the tea about having to go through lawyers just to talk to his own son. And he threw some serious shade at Shaniqua, saying, "When people have expensive habits, it's a hell of a transition for them when that money is not there anymore. She said all kinds of things about me I never would expect." The custody arrangement gave 50 visitation rights, 1 weekend a month plus shared holidays and vacations. But according to People magazine, even though 50 supported his son until he turned 18, he has been estranged from his son for many years. Marquis himself opened up about their broken relationship in a 2017 interview with Wrap Up, and it's heartbreaking. He admitted things went south when he was around 10 or 11, saying, "I started feeling differently about him because growing up, my dad was my superhero. He's on television, he does this, he does that. But then as I got older, you start realizing things or seeing certain patterns, and it takes a toll on your relationship with people." He even admitted, "I can't tell you the last time we even had a dialogue." But things got even uglier in 2018 when 50 made this absolutely shocking comment on a photo of Marquis with the son of 50's longtime enemy, Kenneth Supreme McGriff. Are you ready for this? 50 actually wrote, "If both these little dudes got hit by a bus, I wouldn't have a bad day." I mean, can you believe? Fans were absolutely disgusted, saying this was low even for 50. However, an insider later revealed that Marquis deliberately does things to provoke his father, saying whenever 50 has beef with someone on social media, Marquis will seek out that person and make sure to post about it. The situation hit rock bottom in October 2022 when Marquis made this heartbreaking offer. He'd pay his father $6,700, the amount 50 used to pay in monthly child support for just 24 hours of his time. His exact words were, "Since y'all think $6,700 is so much money, someone tell my pops I will pay him $6,700 for just 24 hours of his time so we can do everything I ever wanted to do with him as a kid." I mean, if that doesn't break your heart. When 50 Cent finally addressed this on The Breakfast Club, his response was ice cold. He basically said there was no point in trying to fix things with his son because the relationship was beyond saving. After that interview, Marquis took to Instagram and absolutely let loose. He wrote this emotional message. "Now y'all see I tried to reach out to talk to my pops as a man in front of the world and behind the scenes. I have no phone number for you, and you've had me blocked on social media for years, so I can't DM you personally. And everybody that is mutual is scared to touch the topic because they're scared of you. This seems to be the only way to reach you." He continued, pouring his heart out. "I'm not a kid anymore. No mommy involved. I don't want or need money from you. I stand on my own too. I don't like attention. I had so many opportunities to get that, and I chose not to. I saw the Breakfast Club interview, and it didn't sound like much accountability there. Just ego, blaming, and more so about money, as if you were the child in the situation." Then he dropped this bombshell. "Those text messages was me. I was waiting outside for you. That was the day you broke my heart. I forgave you for it. I'm ready when you're ready to sit down and talk." So now, with all this Big Meech and 50 Cent drama going down, it looks like Marky is falling back into his old pattern, trying to get Daddy's attention by jumping into whatever drama 50's involved in. And 50, he is not having it. But what do you think? Is 50 Cent being too harsh on his son? Or is Marky crossing the line by getting involved in his father's business? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and while you're here, check out this next video.